Hello, my name is Sarah Takens. I'm here with All Day Highly Distracted. I am a realtor with the local element, and I want to do an overly simplistic view of why houses today are so hard to afford, and maybe brainstorm a little bit with you on what we can do about it. Okay, I'm going to use my own home for today's illustration. In 2018, I purchased my home, and I purchased it for $218,000. Just a coincidence. Also, 2.8. Apparently, those are my numbers. 2.8% for an interest rate. I did a zero down loan, and I did it for $890. I did calculate my taxes and insurance because I pay those separately, and did a 12-month breakdown. So that comes out to $319 for a total payment. I did add an escrow buffer in there. They like to keep like $300 in there. So just for conformity's sake, I did, this would be technically the payment that we're comparing against, $1,234. So that is my payment monthly for purchasing my home in 2018. Let's fast forward. This is where I get curious, because I wonder how many people would be able to purchase their own homes right now in this market at the current market value based on these next numbers. So if I were to buy my home today, Zillow says it's worth $376,000. We won't argue with Zillow today. And 6.75% interest rate is where it fell yesterday when I checked. That would put just my principal and interest payment at $2,438. However, because I opened up my taxing authority by purchasing my home today, my taxes would be $5,321. My insurance is $2,200 now. So we divide that out, $626. This is not that far off from my mortgage payment. That means that people right now are basically paying a second mortgage on their based on taxes and insurance when they purchase their home. I mean, not truly a second mortgage, but look at that amount. Look at that number compared to, what was my number? 319 versus 626. That's huge. That's double. So then we break that down. We add that little buffer, $3,090 a month compared to $1,234 a month, which is more than double what I paid in 2018. Let's keep going, shall we? I like stats, so bear with me. In 2018, just a recap, I bought it for 2018, and that is my payment. Now, the house is worth $376, and that would be the payment. Look at the difference on that. Let's go through income values, right? Ottawa County, where I live, the income is $81,000. In Michigan overall, the median income is $63,000. Now, that was back in 2018. Now that's $87,000 versus $60,000. We've actually had a drop in median income in Michigan overall between 2018 and now. So what does this mean? Let's talk about that. Inflation values and equity. My home value has gone up 58% since 2018. My payment would have gone up 40% between purchasing then and now. 40%. However, income has gone up less than a percentage in Ottawa County, and it's actually gone down in overall Michigan. So things are not lining up here at all. And the biggest part is that taxing number. We went from $2,630.81 for taxes back in 2018, that if I were to purchase my home today, there's a difference of $5,321. Double. Taxes have doubled based on opening up the value. So what do I mean by opening up? Well, here is my taxing statement from this year. I just got this in the mail. And there's two different numbers on here. You have your taxable value and you have your assessed value. The assessed value is what they change the most. That's based on what the homes around you are kind of selling for. And they kind of take the, maybe this is double. If you double this, that's not actually accurate anymore. because housing rates have gone up. But that's the number that is the secret number. Your taxable value is what they can actually tax you on, and this is only allowed to go up or maximum of 5%. I believe mine is lower than that, but a maximum of 5% each year. That number can go up until, and you see this line here, was the property transferred for ownership? It was not transferred in ownership. When this says it was, this number and this number will then both adjust to half of the value. So that means, let's say my house sold for $350,000. That number would then become what, $175,000. So not only can buyers not look at this number and calculate, they have to literally go into a tax estimator and calculate what that number will be next year. And the problem with this is mortgages aren't allowed to forecast what their tax payments would be to collect it in arrears. So a year from now, when people go to pay they get their escrow notice a year after they've lived in their home, they're getting notices for $2,000 that they have to either pay out, or their payment goes up by like $300 a month. And they're not ready for it. And the reason is because we can't future forecast what the actual property insurance is going to be. So people are getting surprised when the tax authority is like, oh, hey, guess what? By the way, you just went from $2,600 that you thought you were going to pay to $5,300. Now, I will say a lot of the lenders in West Michigan are really good at letting people know, hey, you're going to want to set aside X amount of dollars each month so that you have it to pay that missing amount, so your payment doesn't actually go up. Your payments will always adjust a little bit for insurance and for taxes, but for these first-time home buyers or next home buyers to be hit with this huge bill each year just because the property changed hands, I think is absolutely ludicrous. Why am I paying $2,600 this year, but if someone were to buy my house, they now pay $5,300 next year? There's something wrong there. There's something absolutely fundamentally wrong with that, and something needs to be done about the way the property taxes are calculated. It's absolutely wrong. I have zero answers. I have some ideas, but I have zero answers on how to get this done. But it's something that we need to bring to the table and discuss readily with our state representatives and our senates, and make sure that we are having something done about the way property tax is calculated. But it is what it is. I'm curious, what are your thoughts? What are your feelings? I'm just the messenger, so please don't take it out on me. I might cry. I don't know. Let me know what you think.